Welcome back to Everyday Kentucky. Kentucky Afield is the longest running hunting and fishing show in the world. It has been on the air since 1953.
Oh, weren't you born that year?
That's the year. That's the one.
I'm kidding. And joining us this morning to tell us about how the show highlights local fishing and wildlife is host Chad Miles. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about what the show is all about.
Well, Kentucky Afield is all about kind of showcasing all the opportunities here in the state of Kentucky to get outdoors and recreate, be it hunting, fishing, kayaking, hiking, whatever that may be. So we try to travel the state, show you all the beautiful locations and all of the opportunities to be outdoors here in Kentucky.
And there are plenty. There are things that people just don't even realize, but by watching your show, they can find so much.
Oh man, Kentucky is one of the most diverse, unique states. And from the swamps of western Kentucky and Reelfoot Lake to the mountains of eastern Kentucky, you know, the Cumberland River is one of the best trout fishing destinations in the eastern part of the United States.
Wow.
We have so many unique opportunities here in Kentucky.
So I'm not going to ask you how long you've been hosting, but how long have you been in this wildlife field?
Well, so I have been, you know, personally outdoor recreating since a little kid. My family used to take me to a lake as a young kid, and I've really kind of stayed with it. You know, and like most people, there's certain times in your life it's hard to find time to do it, you know, with kids or college, but I always kind of use that as my way to get back to, you know, get back to nature. You know, times get stressful and school and kids. For me, that's kind of my way to decompress. Till I started this job. Now it is my job, and I'm out there quite a bit. But I've been doing this now since 2016, so 7 years.
7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're the 7th host ever on the show. You followed up Tim Farmer. Everyone remembers Tim had the motorcycle accident and then lost use of one of his arms, but could pull a bow with his teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's what would always stand out when you'd watch the show when he was on, because he would go hunting like that, right? I mean,
oh, yeah.
So you see all kinds of stuff like that on this show.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, and it is that we do hunting, we do fishing, we have biologists on, we talk about all the things that you may walk outside and see in your backyard, from butterflies and birds, and we have a ton of biologists talking about, you know, owls and some of the species that we have in Kentucky that you may not encounter in your backyard, but they're there, and you may want to know how to find them or how to locate those animals. It really runs the gamut on everything outdoors.
So tell me, where can we find this show?
Okay, so we're on right here on WYMT, or WKYT, I'm sorry. We're on at 6:30 on Sunday mornings. Our first run is on KET, and we're on KET numerous times throughout the week. Our first run is at 8:30 on Saturday, and then again 4:30 on Sunday.
So how many shoots do you go out and do? How many shows are there that you do in a year?
Well, we're a magazine format show, so we run 3 different segments in a 30-minute airing. Mm-hmm. So usually we'll have somewhere in the location of 70 or 80 segments that we film throughout a year, and then we mix and match them throughout the year, you know, to time the show out right. Mm-hmm. We usually have our first segment is always something that's brand new that was filmed very recently. A lot of times the second segment is also that. And then a little tip, our third segment is something that we have probably filmed in the past that is happening right now. It's the perfect time. If you ever watch Kentucky Afield, the third segment on there is something that we've gotten a tip. It might be a fishing destination that is really good right now. Mm-hmm. It might be some form of outdoor recreation that is perfect that time of year. That's why we air that. So when you watch that last segment, that's kind of the thing that I would be doing if I wasn't working today, because it's happening now. It's perfect. So we run 70 to 80 different destinations. I think we've filmed in every county in the state of Kentucky in the last 7 or 8 years. So
the 7 years, you got to see 120 counties.
I'm sure
awesome,
we've been
you know?
in all of them.
That's incredible. What's your favorite segment, perhaps? And I know that's difficult because people ask me that too. What would be your favorite segment you've ever done?
You know, it's really interesting. There's probably the things that I don't participate in my normal everyday life, because I always learn so much. When we get out with some of our biologists, earlier this year we actually did the very first ever release of a hellbender, a Kentucky hellbender, which I don't know if you know what that is. It's a giant salamander. They get about this big, and we have them in streams throughout Kentucky.
Wow.
They are not seen very often. they are a great indicator species of overall stream health, and they've been a little bit on a decline, and we've partnered up with a university to start rearing them and raising them, and then we release them back into some of the streams here in the state of Kentucky. So to go out and to do the first ever release of a hellbender here in the state of Kentucky, that was pretty unique. But I love the biological pieces and what we can learn, but deep down, I'm a hunter and an angler. So I love anytime I can be out there with a rod and reel in my hand. I love that, and I love working with dogs. I own dogs, I train dogs. I love hunting using dogs. So for me, every one of those days were special. I just really enjoy that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We truly appreciate it. We're going to definitely have to catch your show right here on WKYT.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.